I'm going to tell you about these bead and sequin boards that I make. If you're new here, these are the bead and sequin boards of which I speak. Once upon a time, I was a regular, typical 30 something. I worked in the nonprofit sector because I wanted to change the world and make it a better place. I ran my body into the ground doing that work, along with many other things. That sounded so Minnesota. Back in 2017, when I suddenly lost my mobility and couldn't really walk without some kind of prop or hand holding, or it came on suddenly. I think my body had been giving me warning signs I'd been ignoring for a long time. Suddenly, I couldn't walk anymore. I got really about 6 months into, or 6 months before I lost my mobility and stopped being able to work anymore. I had gotten into felt crafting. I got into felt crafting a little bit by accident because my mom got me this really cool Felties pattern book. It's actually linked in my Amazon storefront as one of my favorite felt craft books because it's got like everything from zombie bunnies to a zombie dog with a bone to zombie MJ in his thriller outfit, all the things. I My mom got me that book back in 2013 or something. I'd started getting into felt crafting a little bit. I was lamenting in like 2014. I made a Facebook post where I was lamenting I had this really cool Christmas stocking from my Grandma Mabel. I didn't know how she made it. I wished she could be around to teach me because I would like to carry on the tradition. My friend Cindel's mom, Dawn, who I adore, she commented, she was like, Kelly, that stocking that your grandmother made you looks like those Bucilla kits. I think they might still make them. I was like, skirt, what are you talking about? I had no idea. I went down that rabbit hole and almost immediately found the stockings that my sister and I have from our Grandma Mabel. I found the kits on eBay. I was like, this is crazy. When Sarah got pregnant with her firstborn, Tristan, I was like, I wanna do this. I wanna start this tradition back up. We saw felt stocking kits. They were not Bucilla felt stocking kits. I didn't know the difference. I wish I had at the time. I get into this. I start with my nephew Tristan's stocking, which was an unholy pain in my butt because I was almost brand new to felt crafting and embroidery and stuff. Not quite. Started with Tristan's stocking. I did that one stocking. I was hooked. I became disabled in 2017 in a way that made it so I couldn't work anymore. Not super fun. From there, I was making all my nieces and nephews stockings and things. I started running out of kids, or I made a couple of my nurses when we were still in the discovery phase of all this and trying to figure out why I couldn't walk and why I was in so much pain and stuff. It turned out I had an internal spinal cord crush injury. It took a while to get to the right doctors. I used to work out of these like plastic containers. I'd put all the beads and all the sequins or color groups of some in these different little plastic containers. And a lot of times I was stitching in my lap in a medical lift recliner or even flat on my back because for a long time I couldn't even sit up for more than an hour or two a day. This craft became a serious part of my life when I lost my mobility because it was something I could do to dissociate from the pain and distract myself from it. I didn't want to take narcotic or opioid pain medications, not because I'm judging anyone, because there's a lot of addiction history in my family. I know that I have an addictive personality. I used to smoke cigarettes and stuff. It's not about judging other people's care choices. For me, the right care choice was to avoid opioids and narcotics while I was still trying to figure out what was going on. Because it's important to remember that pain is not the disease, pain is a symptom. A lot of times we treat pain as though pain is the disease. We just want immediate relief. That doesn't help discover what The problem is I would use slow stitching, like these stockings, these felt crafts, the stockings and ornaments and all those things. I would use it to dissociate from the pain and kind of meditate through it a little bit. It helped me stay focused on something besides the pain. I'm not good at meditation. I never have been. I didn't know I had ADHD and stuff until I was like 41. It was probably my brain's way of protecting me and keeping me from remembering too much of that period of pain and brutality. I was gaslit a lot medically by a lot of medical professionals, doctors, nurses. It was a very hard time in life. It lasted for a period of a few years. I just got more and more into making felt crafts and making the stockings and ornaments. There was no YouTubers or anything when I started doing it in 2016 that I could find. I finally found Michelle Woods 2018, 2017, 2018. I followed her a lot because she was comfortable for me to learn from because she's from Michigan like I am. So she has that like Midwest mom vibe. The soft voice, the patience, just very kind. That's that's pretty for that's just like one coat of stain that I did while I've been talking to you. So I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna go put it on the rack. Be right back. Watch me or do you want to watch the staining? We'll find out together. You can tell me in the comments. I get into this hobby, I lose my mobility. I have about 4 years of living on couch ahead of me. I become really good at this craft. In 2018, I started finding more of my people. By the time I was able to return to Michigan in 2020, there was like a crew of Bucilla lady stitchers, and lo and behold, in Michigan, it was like 2021 or 2022 when Michelle was she messaged me and she was like, I don't always have time to like comment or engage very much. I wanted you to know that I definitely see your videos. I've taken notice. You're incredibly talented. Have you ever thought about becoming a plaid creator? This is my face. Because a plaid creator, are you kidding me? I was like, I didn't know that was a thing. She's like, I do model stitching for them. I'm also one of their digital creators. She's like, I see your posts. I know you post regularly, so you qualify. We're going to do half and half. Half my face, half the board. She's like, I've seen the work that you do. And I think it's really cool. I mean, you should apply to be an affiliate. And I was like, that was like 2022 when we had that interaction and conversation. Meanwhile, they had started having these Bucilla lady crafting retreats out at Gotta Scrap Inn. I wanted to go for a couple years and just couldn't because my pain was just too unmanageable. I got to go to my first one in 2024. I will go to every one that I can from now on because there are no better ladies than felt crafting ladies. I'm telling you. Don't get mad at me, my older friends. Some of the older ladies can be a little mean, especially if you do things in a non-traditional way. I'm just saying maybe we don't share all of our opinions and beat up on young creators. Once I became a plaid creator or whatever, I'm slowly getting plugged into this community of people who all do this, and I'm meeting people. When I went to that first retreat, there was a lady there, shout out Tammy, all the way from Australia. A lot of people were from like Texas. It was crazy. People from everywhere, including other parts of the world. And that's really amazing because this tradition is like 150 years old. It had been dying. Like I said, I couldn't find anybody else. I had never been in the same room as anyone else who did this craft until the first time I went to the retreat. Throughout my years of doing this, I had always used those plastic containers. It was not the most efficient or effective. It kind of helped me to not spill because, like I said, I was often stitching while laying on my back or propped up in a chair or whatever. 22, there was a gal on Facebook who was selling bead boards for seed bead and jewelry making. And I was like, that looks like it would be perfect for using in my lap for stitching felt crafts and ornaments and things because we use so many different colors of beads and sequins in different kits. And so I ordered the board from her. It worked okay. It worked better than anything else I'd had, and I loved it. She like disappeared. People kept asking me, where did you get that? How do I get that? I would send them to her page. For a while, her page was like deleted. I don't know if maybe it was like a COVID business or something happened in her life that she had to step away from it. Never found her again. Was never able to get any more boards made. In 2023 or 2024 maybe, I sent a picture of that to my friend Brad. I was like, you have a CNC machine. Would you have any interest at all in helping me recreate something like this for my crafting projects? I was like, sub question, if you would have interest in that, in helping me figure it out, if other people see it and want it, would you be interested in creating them regularly and selling them together? He was like, yes, this one's pretty. It's got a lot of distinct, cool knots. I didn't even tell Brad about the finger holes. He came up with that on his own. Of course, I was like, look at that. That's so pretty. It's like a sunburst. It's got really cool knots on it. Once these soak in real good, I'm gonna put this on the stand. The board that I originally had 8 slots or something. There was a lot of empty space on the board. There's a lot of usable empty space around the holes. So they were half the size and round. There was just a lot more dead space. Brad was like, what if we made them deeper, made them oval, because it's easier for your little fingers. If you're wondering why line the holes with felt, it's because seed beads and sequins and very bouncy, the beads especially. So if it was just bare wood and you went to dump your seed beads in there, they'd spill all over the place and it would be really, really annoying. I was like, we got to figure out the lining situation. A CNC machine and everything set up in his workshop. He got right on it and made me a bunch of. So the original prototypes were not as rounded and smoothed out on the edges. They didn't have a high quality felt in them. And painting people different color boards would just get so, how would we keep up? We're 2 people. We live in separate towns. Best friends in separate towns. Some boards, I sold a couple. I gave a couple away at the retreat with the Bucilla ladies. I got positive feedback. I've got some other ideas for how we can upgrade the boards a little bit in the future and add some more features. Right now, Brad went and bought a house like a jerk. No, I'm just kidding. Brad just closed on a new house, so he had to put his CNC machine up and everything. All that to say, I have 12 of these bead and sequin boards in stock. That's all I'm going to have in stock for a little bit while he moves and gets set up. They sell, but we'll have a wait list. If there's a ton of interest, Brad was like, we'll figure it out and get some more made. This is going to be the last batch for a while. I just thought you'd like to see that it is an actual human person who goes and dabs all the stain on the wood and not dry, soak up the stain overnight, and then I hand cut everything and felt them and then box them up and ship them out. If you're a felt crafter, especially if you like to do the Plaid Crafts Bucilla kits, right now I'm working on this kit. I am using a lot of different colors. I have Glad press and seal on this so that I don't bump it and knock anything out or spill it because I'm klutzy. That's the Bucilla kit that I'm working on right now. Brad and I have been friends since 6th grade. I told him I would do my best to make us millionaires. With the bead and sequin boards, I think they're really cool. I think they work really great. Like I said, I have some ideas for upgrading in the future. I think that we could potentially put like a built-in pin cushion over here or something, or a built-in needle minder magnet, or both. Who would like your very own custom-made bead and sequin board, you should go to my website, kellyjmendenhall.com, or look up Affordable Art Revolution. You will find me. You will find the bead boards. You can order one because limited stock for a while until Brad is done moving and gets his life together. No, I'm just kidding. Isn't that pretty? I love it. I don't know why I love it so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you have a blessed and beautiful rest of the day. I will see you soon.